Curriculum Presentation for Mathematics by Laura Halajian, Christine Neelis, and Pam Sneller.
How often do we hear our students ask, "Why are we learning this?" or "Will this be on the test?" The answers we often provide our students are not relevant to their current state. Students want to know the why. Is what they are doing in math valuable to them now? Student engagement in math will increase if teachers make their daily instruction interesting and relevant to their students' current situation. Telling a third grader they need to learn a specific concept now because they will use it in their job when they graduate from high school is not making it relevant. Telling a third grader that they need to learn the concept now so that when they go to the store to buy that video game, they will be able to make sure they receive the correct change from the cashier. That is relevant to them now. The more we can make our math instruction connect to our students, the more they will be interested in the lessons. Interesting lessons lead to high student engagement. High student engagement leads to students thoroughly understanding math concepts. Math teachers need to show students how to explore their world through math. Math curriculum has to be relevant to the students' real world, and if it is, students will be more engaged. The world is full of interesting applications of math, and this must be utilized in your curriculum. Math instruction needs to be taught in a variety of ways for students to truly understand the different math concepts. Students need to be spending time problem solving and pattern finding using their real-world context. Technology is a valuable tool that must be used when teaching different math concepts. Teachers often point out students' mistakes in math and show them how to fix them. It is vital in math that teachers balance between direct instruction and math exploration. Let students explore math. Let them experiment with the different ways to do math and make sure that they are able to critically explain their own thinking. It is critical for new and veteran teachers to have ongoing and regular opportunities to learn from each other. Ongoing professional development keeps teachers up to date on new research on how children learn, emerging technology tools for the classroom, and new research-based curriculum ideas. The best professional development is ongoing, experiential, collaborative, and connected to and derived from working with the students in their real-world setting. Math professional development is needed by teachers to keep them current with state accountability and also to be able to accurately integrate technology into their math teaching. We are moving beyond computers and calculators as the norm for technology integration in the classroom to much more sophisticated technology tools, and teachers must have experience and understanding of these new technology tools. It is the building administrator's job to make sure the professional development offered to teachers is of high quality. Teaching in 2014 is very different from when I started in 1996. The demands on teachers is increasing, and that is not going to let up anytime soon. Administrators need to make sure they are supporting their teachers through professional development and keeping them at the forefront of the ever-changing educational system. If this is done, it will help with teacher turnover. High teacher turnover is certainly not good for kids, as you have to start completely over each time a new teacher is placed into a classroom. All teachers need professional development. It is important for teachers to interact and network with beginning and veteran teachers in the field of mathematics. The interactions allow teachers to examine and discuss the current 21st century trends in math education. Not only does our teaching need to be focused on the new 21st century skills, but so does our professional development. We need to give teachers the tools to be able to teach and meet the expectations with their students, incorporating new and innovative ways to reach students in mathematics instruction in the 21st century.
One way to reach each student is to differentiate instruction. It is all about adjusting the curriculum and instruction to fit the students rather than the other way around. Our goal is to maximize every student's growth so each student can achieve success. If the content is hard, students become anxious and sometimes lose their self-confidence. If the content is too easy, students become bored. They tune us out and they become distracted or start to distract others who do need the additional time to focus. This sometimes causes behavioral problems in the classrooms. We first conduct a pre-assessment of our students' ability. Then we vary the complexity according to our students' growth and needs. We may slow our pace for some instruction or speed it up if we feel that the students know this area well. We can group students accordingly, utilizing math buddies or using learning centers or cooperative learning groups. We can group students that are very strong in math and actually have them teach students that are weaker in math. We have to focus on the student. We have to look at what actions the students are performing, what their readiness levels are, and their learning styles. We have to really pay attention to their engagement and interest. Is their level of engagement high, or is it moderate, or is it disengaged? We have to adjust accordingly, and we have to make sure that our learning objectives are on target for the grade level standards, and that the learning objectives are also challenging the student. Some of the trends and challenges that are coming our way is schools are starting to build around personal learning plans. We know that passion drives people to learn, so we need to have our students discover what their interests are. Students are going to have more say in determining their own curriculum, and the students need to own and accept responsibility for their learning. It is their job to think and learn. But when you have 35 students in a class, having a personalized learning plan for each one can be a challenge. Digital delivery. Math is the subject area that most students are interested in taking online. We have to be prepared to provide video for classwork and homework, and most of the assessments will be online. 62% of students want to bring their own device to school, and schools may start encouraging that. Teachers will be expected to be proficient in all areas of technology, and that will be a challenge for the teachers to be up to speed with all the different devices that there are. We have to emphasize algebra from kindergarten through 12th grade. And we have to emphasize critical thinking skills, where students need to become mathematical thinkers and use reasoning skills, not just to solve problems. Students need to learn to communicate how they've solved the problem. They are going to have to be very proficient in reading. They are going to have to be able to write and be good at it. Students are also going to need to work in groups and learn cooperation, innovation, and real-world readiness. The most important role of a school leader is to try to inspire students to be the best that they can be. We need to create a climate where teachers and students are inspired to become lifelong learners, because there are endless possibilities.
The Common Core: consistent, strong, clear benchmarks nationwide. Hearing about the Common Core for the first time can be confusing, even a little bit intimidating. So the next few slides will give you just a quick summary of the different elements involved with the Common Core. The Common Core focuses on 3 key shifts: focus, coherence, and rigor. The Common Core puts a greater focus on fewer topics. This will help students build strong foundations, gain solid understanding, develop a high degree of skills and fluency, strengthen their ability to use their math skills to solve problems in the classroom and in life. Topics and thinking are linked across grades. Math is not a list of disconnected topics, tricks, or mnemonics. Math is a coherent body of knowledge made up of interconnected concepts. To make math rigorous, we must make math harder and introduce topics at earlier grades. Not so much. Actually, rigor refers to a deep, genuine understanding of mathematical concepts. How can we achieve rigor? Provide students with experiences that will help them develop conceptual understanding, skills and fluency, and the ability to apply math knowledge in and out of the classroom. The trick is to pursue each of the above skills with the same intensity. Following the Common Core is definitely an adjustment for teachers and students. Teachers have to be facilitators and students have to be problem solvers. As math teachers, including myself, I think we kind of got used to just handing over the formulas and letting the kids practice. Even when I was a 3rd grader, I remember my teacher had a little saying when she was showing us how to divide fractions. It went, "Ours is not to question why, just flip the second and multiply." So I didn't question it, even though I really didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it, but I did get a lot of them right. Through the Common Core, we're asked to provide students with experiences so they come up with their own strategies and formulas. And most of these experiences are hands-on activities and real-world problem-solving situations. Are teachers required to use these new strategies? Good question. The Common Core standards just list skills and competencies that students at different grade levels are required to reach. While it provides some suggested strategies, it's up to the school and the teacher to choose the method they think is best. However, students must excel in critical thinking if they are to perform well on these assessments, and we'll get to those in a minute. Teachers will have to restructure how they teach to develop these skills. This will be a major shift in teaching and learning philosophies. A lot of teachers have similar questions about how this is going to change their teaching. I really had an opportunity to dive into the Common Core this year by teaching a remedial math class. One of the questions a lot of people have is, doesn't it take a lot longer to teach this way? And it does, definitely. But I found because I had less concepts to cover that I had more time to go in depth with them. So time doesn't end up being a factor. The second question is, isn't this frustrating for the students, especially since I teach 8th grade? They've been brought up for years with a certain teaching method, and it was very frustrating at first. Initially, you're going to get lots of moans and groans. They want to be told how to do it, but eventually, slowly but surely, their groans of frustration turned into, no, Mrs. Halajian, don't tell me I can do this. I can figure this out. So it was definitely a step in the right direction and exciting to see. What will assessments look like? Smarter Balanced Assessment Consortium and Partnership for Assessment of Readiness of College and Careers are the 2 consortiums creating these tests. Students will see a variety of item types such as innovative constructed response, extended performance tasks, and selected response. This will be a big adjustment for many students, especially those who have grown up with multiple choice standardized tests like MEP, because these new tests are much more difficult than multiple choice. They assess students on multiple standards within one question, and they expect students to defend their work through a constructed essay response. This means that students won't just be coming up with an answer, they will also need to defend the answer and explain the process through written response. The transition to these types of assessments will be difficult. Many students will struggle initially, and it will take time, but don't be afraid. The focus of education is all about the student. Here are a few questions and ideas to keep in mind when making decisions about your instruction, because remember, the future is in their hands.